Welcome to the Santa Cruz Coffee Break. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcast, please follow, hit the like button, or any subscribes. It really helps us with the algorithms. Santa Cruz Coffee Break is produced by the Santa Cruz Guitar Players Forum. All opinions are those of the speakers. We invite you to join us on the Santa Cruz Guitar Players Forum at SCGCPF for more fun. Now, let's get on with this installment of Santa Cruz Coffee Break.
We would like to welcome everyone to the 69th Santa Cruz Guitar Players podcast. And today we want to welcome back Sonia with Disappear Fear. And we're really excited to have her. It's pure energy. And I want to know about National Disappear Fear Day.
Oh, cool. Okay, so International Disappear Fear Day is originally started because my birthday is February 18th. And then we found out that my sound man's birthday was February 18th. And then we found out that my bass player's birthday was February 18th. So we had to do something amazing. And it's morphed into this real idea of how do you disappear fear? Which is basically asks the question, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And what that has become is teachers are making it school projects from in Germany, in the US, and it's growing. And last year, our state made it an official International Disappear Fear Day. Now has a proclamation for the state of Maryland, and it's a way really to disappear fear between people, living into humanity in a positive way, and or addressing your fears. That's it, kind of. I should have read the thing, but I didn't.
that covered it. That's pretty well.
Yeah, we'll send folks to your site, to make sure that they can follow up on that. It's pretty progressive for Maryland.
Totally. And I got a complete standing ovation from all the House Republicans and Democrats, and which was also really awesome. So it was like a moment that everybody ratified this proclamation last year, and it was pretty darn amazing. It was brought to the House by John Cardin, who I think is the nephew of our Senator Ben Cardin, actually, and progressive, liberal, awesome.
Oh.
For me.
We're sending would have been a good opportunity to announce your candidacy.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sending this one to Washington. I'm voting for this one.
Hey, it's that good.
It's a grassroots movement. So
absolutely.
What have you been doing? What's been going on? It's been almost 2 years, right? Last time we talked was right at the beginning of COVID. And I'll tell you, we've done a couple rebroadcasts with some other people, and what it seems that came out of COVID from them was this incredible creative energy. It's pretty exciting. So what's been going on?
So and me as well. As soon as we would be in the studio, if things were safe, if I was testing negative and my engineer was testing negative and all the band members were testing negative, we would like congregate at times. But we made an album. It came out in September. It's called Album 23. I'm very proud of it. We were able to bring in some guest artists from Australia. We brought in Ty Noonan to sing. We brought in Isaac Tabor, who lives in Dubai. He played some pedal steel on it, and then a friend of mine, Hannah Ka, and Liam Morris from Germany both sang on it. So that was really, really cool too.
A pedal steel player from Dubai.
Yeah, well, he's really not from Dubai.
That's like actually cute. He's got to be the only one, first of all.
Definitely, and he works whenever he wants, as you might imagine. They love American music, and and country music. So that's really fun. And he mostly plays with this country duo over there. But he was actually born in the United States. He grew up in Leiden, Holland. He went to college in Ireland, lived up there for quite a while, and then his wife is is from United from the Emirates, United Arab Emirates, is that it? And so that they live in Dubai. Lots of languages. He's amazing. He's really talented guitar player too.
Oh, yeah, great.
It's fun. It's fun. So yeah, so they're all on it, and we did a CD release last month in Baltimore, actually in Havre de Grace, Maryland, and just north of Baltimore. It's like was the Baltimore release one, so that was fun. And we're playing a concert also up there at the State Theater in Havre de Grace on February 18th on International Disappear Fear Day. The other thing, and this is the thing that I was working on early this morning, which is trying to do the last final edit for my autobiography. So I've been working on that for about 6 years, and I really got into it during COVID. So I suppose that was a big part of it. And then at night I would just like walk around my dining room writing songs, just singing like, because writing about your life is really hard, really hard. So it's been about a 6-year project, and wow. Soon to be 7. So yeah, my agreement with myself is to have it done by Christmas, and I'm pretty close. I've got like, I think about 120 pages more to go through.
and that's just that's the edit. That's not the physical creation, correct?
No, it's been, take this in, change this sentence. I said this twice in 2 different ways, as I do. I'm sure I do. And so, yeah, so it's kind of just combing through, things like, it's a very conversational kind of book, like this conversation is. And so I might say this one day, and then 3 days later, I might not say that. So I have a chance to go back and go, I don't think so.
It's really hard. I write a thing on Substack, and you really have to, it's funny, but I really have to kind of isolate myself from the other stuff to be able to focus on this. And I'm normally not a night writer. I'm early in the morning and I'm clear then. But I've found that before I'm going to bed now, I'm like, in my head, I'm like basically writing paragraphs, which hopefully I retain them till the morning.
Yeah, right.
Writing is difficult. Yeah. I mean, if you want to do it right.
Yeah, it really is. Speaking of someone else who wrote an amazing book during COVID is Dave Grohl. His book, I was reading it, and I've read several autobiographies by artists, and that's by far my favorite. I loved it. I bought it for all my band members because they I'm getting things because I just knew that, because I mean, a lot of what he was doing was very similar to what we were doing I'm in the early 90s, and and so it's like so many of the same clubs and stuff, and the crisscrossing and the craziness. And yeah, I mean, he was like, there were some degrees of, we weren't crisscrossing too much into heroin and all of that stuff, like some very serious drugs, but there was plenty of whatever anybody wanted or didn't want around. So yeah, it was, but it was interesting. He said he drinks 5 pots at one point, 5 pots of coffee a day. He was like in 2 bands and taking care of his children at home, and just, he was like full on. And I was like, pots, not just cups, pots of coffee. And then he found himself with a little bit of chest problems, so he got that checked out.
I wonder why.
Oh man, pots, like, wow. Anyway, I beat myself up when I do too much Earl Grey. Quite different. But yeah, writing takes a lot more, the details and the fine. It's like and it's there, like a song. When you want to get it right in the studio, and of course that takes a lot of focus and time, or can, unless you nail it right away and you're very, very clear about it. Sometimes it's nice to let it sort of grow in the studio into what it wants to be. But you can always, if you didn't quite get there live, I mean, in the studio, you can always, I have the liberty to approach it live, and then release a live recording of it. Like, no, I really wanted it to be like, not just, or whatever it is. So, yeah.
That's kind of what these podcasts are, is a chance for you to, do it live as opposed to.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I've always found that it's not the writing that's the most hard part. The hard part for me is the remembering. You go back ways and the details start to all get foggy. And I got to say, I have not had a life as varied and exciting as a professional musician. So I got to imagine that takes a lot of work.
Yeah, the inside cover of Dave's book has like little pieces of things and then arrows. I have journals that I kept, and I suppose he did too. I'm sure, but your recollection of it a day later or in the moment of certainly changes through the decades. I mean, I'm 64, so looking back at what was happening when I was 28 and 18 and 9 to the early years of Disappear Fear, and that it is in a way a blur, but truthfully, because when you're in it, you're so in it, but you can, there are gems that stick out, and there, it's definitely a good mind muscle exercise, like you'd be surprised at how much you do remember. And then, like, when I first was reading my first write of it, my first draft, or some of the for early chapters, there's a lot of angst in it, and I'm like, man, I'm really mad. I'm like, I don't want to write like a bitter book and want to drop it or burn it or something, like. And so I was able to look at it a little bit better, and not that I melted it down too much, but in the 6 years that I've worked on it, or Terry will read a little bit of it and she'll say, do you really want to say it like that? And I'll be, yes, I do. Or we're gonna get sued or something like that. So and some of the people that I'm writing about have passed on, but many of them are thriving, and I wonder how all that's going to kind of play out, just for me personally, more so than I mean, the question that Terry would always ask me, because I would say, can I say this, or like, because I don't know how it's going to fall on different personalities. What for me, sometimes I write something that I think is so complimentary and excellent, and then you get something back, like on Facebook or something, or some social media thing, and then it's like, that is so not where I thought that was going to go. Like, no and no and no, and I don't even have enough time to say how many no's there are into where you're going with this. And I was, it just grows so differently than the way you plant it and think it's going to go. Who knows?
I think looking at journals and looking back, I've been a pretty big journaler, and for a long time, and I look back, somehow I picked up a day book from 1984, and I just looked. I went, okay, what day is it today? And I went and looked at it, and I had on the day EWF, Don Henley, and I think it was Queen. And I went, who is EWF? I went, oh no, that's Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I kind of went, yeah, that was a busy day.
I'd say.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like looking back over that, and I'm thinking, what an interesting project it would be to go through these 2 years of day books when literally my life was so turbulent, and look at it now and go, hey, I made it. Look,
Yeah.
I made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Wow.
made it.
Mm.
There's a joy. There's a certain joy in that going. That was really. There's a great book out for your band members if they're at all interested in like really early creation of how the instruments came together. It's called The Birth of Loud, and it's the story of Paul Bigsby, Les Paul, and Leo Fender. And it starts in Leo's backyard at barbecues every Sunday. And it was Leo, Paul, Les.
Wow.
It goes through the progression of really what happened in their lives and what was happening in Leo's life, and how he was trying to market his stuff and how he was trying to get it out there, and he was in the clubs every night, bringing in an amp and giving it to the guitar player, and saying, try this. And then he'd be back in the factory the next day. And as this is going on, Les has his auto accident.
Oh.
And is literally gone for 2 years out of the scene, 2.5 years, while his arm comes back. And in that time, Paul and Les get together. It's a really fascinating story, and
awesome.
it's like in real time.
Awesome, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and if you read it, you'd, even if somebody walked up to you with a 51 broadcaster for $100, you wouldn't buy it because you'd expect the neck to twist into a pretzel or something like that. You find out that he used like the cheapest stuff he could get, and out of this came legendary instruments, that have brought so much joy to people beyond the player aspect of it, the listening aspect of it.
Yeah.
I think reading, and it's so important to us.
That's on my list. Tell me the beginning of Loud. What was it? The
birth of Loud. It's Les Paul. It's Les Paul, Leo Fender, and Paul Bigsby.
Awesome.
And there's some pretty scary stuff in there, in terms of like how it all happened. But Les had a little apartment on Gower, and the back, they had a backyard, and they'd have barbecues on Sunday and talk about what they were trying to do. And Les is meteoric at that time. I mean, 1946, 1947, he and Mary are just tearing it up. They have 10 singles on the charts at once or something like it. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. A great history read.
Wow.
We're not talking about that.
No, it's great. It's great. It's great. I love it.
Ted has his Sonia H14 out.
I had to get it out. I mean, it's the official guitar podcast number 69. So
yes, it is. I got mine right here too.
So yes, we should mention for anybody who doesn't know that Santa Cruz Guitar does have a Sonia signature guitar, H14 fret. H is a great body size. Indian rosewood and Sitka. It's got a little wider neck, which I love, and it's got a lot of I want to say magical symbols, so to speak, running up and down the neck to help
keep the
magical player safe from the various terrors that occupy this world. There you go.
Oh, here it comes.
I got mine too. So, yeah, wonderful guitars. It's yeah.
It feels like home.
Yeah.
It is home. It's home. Yeah. Wherever we go, it's home, right?
It is.
Will we see you at NAMM?
I don't think so. But possibly I can maybe find out in the if Terry runs over this way. So I can let you know.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I think Tad and I are both going to go this year. I know I'm going to go, and just kind of like put some faces and bodies to who we talk to, and that Richard's coming up with, and I'm going to go see him this afternoon. Richard is building 4 vault guitars. He's calling them vault guitars. Um, uh, uh, Unbelievably special wood. 45,000-year-old stuff from a swamp in New Zealand. A new speed. Yeah. I have a little of that stuff. It is completely magical.
Wow.
You hold this piece of wood in your hand and you go 45,000 years. It's called ancient cowrie. It's from New Zealand. They have to have all kinds of certifications and permits to even export it. They have to say what it's going to be used for. It's going to be used for basically art creation because it's just so precious. And then he's got was the Philadelphia rosewood one of the guitars, Tad?
I don't know. I don't know the details on any of them yet. That's one of the things I'm excitedly looking forward to hearing more about.
Well, we know that one of them is going to be this cypress.
Yes, the swamp or
the palm cypress, or
it's bald cypress, but
bald cypress.
They're calling it sinker cypress. Maybe is that what they're calling it because it's been underwater for extended periods of time. Anywhere from hundreds to potentially thousands of years based on radiocarbon dating and such.
We did a fascinating podcast with the guy who's kind of pioneering the wood, and he made a really interesting statement that one I had never considered, and I'm a pretty big history reader, but he said when the British pulled into South Carolina harbors, they couldn't believe the amount of trees they had. I was just reading a pirate book in it, and that it took 400 acres of virgin British oak forest to create one British man of war. That's unbelievable. Wow. And so this wood has been, they just axe cut it, and they just dropped it in the rivers. So this guy is going out with a diver and they find this piece of wood. They have to then get a permit to bring it to the surface, all kinds of stuff. But it's so much in line with the Santa Cruz philosophy of reclaim and, honor what is in front of us. It is so very cool. But I'm looking forward to seeing them. I asked yesterday, and they said, well, they were all in the spray booth, and I'm like, oh my, they're going to be really cool.
It's really happening.
Yeah, it really is happening.
Wow. Well, and what was really exciting is, as Richard said, he's been collecting all this special wood for so many years, and he just finally decided that he was going to put together a set of guitars based around his designs, his thoughts, his whole creative process. And it's going to be really exciting to see what these are, because they're going to be like, I don't want to say they'll be the pinnacle of his life's work, because he's still got more work to do, and who knows where that'll take him, but it might be the pinnacle to date of what he's doing. And anyway, I'm going to be a NAMM virgin. I'm going to go for the first time and see what it's all about.
Okay, bring your plugs. It gets crazy in there. But there's the Santa Cruz guitar area is a little bit of Zen, definitely. Actually, it's a lot of Zen, and it lasts. It's got its own, definitely has its own. It's the best energy part of the whole thing. It's not, but there's some real crazy, but it's very magical. It's a very magical place. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to play a guitar that was being sold, possibly sold or represented from, I believe it was Switzerland. It was coming from Switzerland. It was in LA. It was a Antonio Torres guitar. There are very few of those. And a friend of Richard's, who has an amazing, I guess, musical store in Singapore, asked me to play it on video, like I don't know if it was on his phone or a video thing. I can't remember. It was about, I think about 10 years ago. And anyway, I played it. It was amazing. And I think of that, like in 200 years, that's what my guitar is going to be like that. I really feel that way. As long as the case is good, and it is. I mean, like these things are gems, and yeah. I only wish I could be here in 200 years. That would be a reason to get frozen and come back, so I could hear these guitars again. Because they're going to keep on going. They're going to keep on singing. It's such an amazing legacy that Richard has and has gifted us with. Yeah. I mean, I know we're all connected, but pretty amazing, beyond amazing.
All these little pieces of magic that come out, and they seem to resurface. If you see a guitar that there's a guitar on Facebook and Facebook Marketplace right now that I played it at Manny's in New York. It was upstairs, or Rudy's. It was upstairs, and it was this blue body Santa Cruz F, and I was like, it was really blue, and I was kind of really stunned at it. And I was in New York working, and I played it, and I kind of left, and I went back to the hotel, and I called my wife, and I said, "Wow, this thing is." I think I'm going to buy it. It's some money, but I'm going to buy it because this thing is just unbelievable. And she said, go ahead, do it. And I went back and it was gone. And this 15 years later, it appears to have surfaced on Facebook again. Hey, the guy's in New York. So and it was a one of a kind. They said it was a one of a kind. So I'll ask Richard about it this afternoon or something, to see if he has any remembrance of it. But it seems like he has remembrance of everything that he creates.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, they're his children, so I would hope so. I know there are many, but even so, they deserve at least a paragraph.
Thousands and thousands of them all over.
It's amazing.
Anything special he definitely remembers. I remember when I found the first FTC I was able to buy, and I was describing a little bit to Richard, and he stopped and he goes, does it have a little black mark in the back in the maple? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, yeah, I remember that guitar. We were carving the back and I saw that black mark and I wanted to throw it away and start all over, but my partner was like, we can't afford to, just finish it and send it out. I mean, he knew exactly the guitar I was talking about, and it was over 30 years ago. So,
wow,
that's amazing.
Well, they each have their own personalities. They're each unique. Yeah,
they do.
And then where we take them. So, yeah.
So your band, your current band is a five. You guys are a 5-piece.
Usually, yes, we're a 5-piece. Yes.
And there's a keyboard.
It's not exactly my current band. It's a return to my original Disappear Fear touring band. Actually, these are the guys that in 1996 we flew out to Los Angeles and recorded the album "Seed in the Sahara." And that was produced by Roy Bittan. And we did during COVID, we did a Zoom, and I just said, I'm writing these songs. Do you guys know? And do you guys want to make an album together again? And they're like, hell yeah. So that's how this album happened, because like we were just like, yeah, let's do it. So most of them live in Baltimore. The drummer lives about 3 hours west of Baltimore, so he's got a truck into Baltimore, but he does traveling in the area anyway. So we did it. But I did interrupt you, but I just wanted you to know that my current band is actually my old band too. So I'm very, very happy to be working with these guys.
Sorry. That's great. That's great.
Really great.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they've all developed and stuff. It's nice.
Let's hope we all continue to develop.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe as even as a humanity, we could all continue to grow a little bit, I think.
Oh yes. Very much, very much. I recently did an interview with Volker magazine in Germany, and I was asked all these various questions of things, and I really expressed my global views, particularly with all the wars that the United States is funding and participating in, and all of this, but it's makes you sigh, So
I hope that we've been built on that machine for so long, and we were built on it out of fear. We built it after World War II, and we built this unbelievable industry that's targeted on that, and we just got to stop killing each other.
Yeah.
It's just,
that's my new thread. Yeah.
Stop killing each other, please. You got your own specialness. Stop doing it. Just let us live.
Yeah, it's hard to go into this holiday season where everybody's singing about peace and brotherly love and all kinds of other euphemisms from the past. Well, every time you turn on the news, it's all about a whole lot more people getting hurt. So
yeah.
Anyway, hopefully next year will be much better.
Yes. Excellent.
All we can do is live on some hope.
Yeah.
Keep hope alive. Let's see it on the back of the football players' helmets.
Yeah, it's so some of the stuff too is just so ridiculous. I guess it's hard to see, like, what's entertainment and what's really real, and there's such a thin line. Like, I'm like, are you kidding? Like, like the guy the other week that was gonna like start to like actually take a fight outside from like the halls, the cabinet chambers, right? Yeah. I mean, like, really? Like, what is this, like 8th grade? I don't know. I mean, and you're not drunk. I mean, like, there's no reason for this.
We don't know.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe there was some Irish coffee in next to his Wheaties, but I don't know. I mean, like, yeah. But
there's real work to be done.
There really is.
There's real work to be done, and I don't know. I don't know. I kind of look at pro sports. I see the unbelievable changes that have happened in the past even 5 years. In terms of how they play the game, and that gives me hope, because Americans, we're sports guys. We're a sports country, and we can have some examples coming out of these. I love all this stuff on the NFL of stop hate, and all at the back of everybody's helmets, and the back of the end zones, and just put the message out there.
Yeah.
Does all this news is all this news really hard to get into a writing space, a creative musical writing space, or does it fuel it?
both. I can't, like, if like yesterday morning when I just started to work on the editing of the book, I didn't want to be around any of it. It was because it's such a bzz, bzz, bzz. But I'm sucked into it too because, I'm hoping more hostages, and there's more ceasefire, and like I hope, there's a lot of hope, and I approach it with that every time, like, maybe, and
That's good.
but I can't. It is a terrible deterrent. So I do need to just put it away. And I find that in my writing, in my development now, because for so long in the early 3 decades of Disappear Fear, it was like, wake up, there's stuff to do, we're killing the planet, we're like, we need to be able to be, gay people need to be, LGBTQ need to be recognized as people, all rights are human rights, like, for everybody. Why, and racism and all the different phobias and stuff like that. I was like, wake up, wake up, wake up. So much of my music was about that through my own, many of my own experiences, or something that I saw that seemed really, that I needed to process and present in a song. And now, because I feel literally, and pun intended, and bombarded with so much, I feel like, let's do Disneyland, like, let's do an escape thing, like, let's just do fantasy, let's, here is, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like, I just need to run away from it. So I'm thinking of creating, fun, silly, sing along or in your face songs that are not, about all these things sometimes. Much more so than I ever was.
But that attitude can bring hope, and that attitude can, you don't know how a song affects somebody. We just don't know that. And the more you put out there, and if you put the good stuff out there, if you put the positive stuff out there, it's the best you can do.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's the best you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Dad,
yeah.
Should we let her go?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask, what do you have in terms of tour dates? What do you have coming up in the next year? Anything? Are you back out on the road or doing anything fun?
Yeah. I'm going back to Germany in the spring, and I'm over there for about 6 weeks, and I have a full on tour there. I'll probably have about 20, 25 shows. That'll be fun. I love playing there. And I may be going back there again towards the end of the summer, because there might be 1 or 2 festivals that I'm doing over there then too. Trying to, I really want to bring some members of my band, or I'd love to bring my whole band. But if I can bring some of them, I'd love to do that, and be able to tour some more of the album with all the, orchestration. But if it's just me and my Santa, I'll still be okay. Gets me through. and I'm happy to talk and share with you guys again. I'm excited about International Disappear Fear Day on February 18th, and I encourage you to look into something maybe that you haven't looked at before.
Maybe that's something we can talk to SCGC about, and maybe we can do something here in Santa Cruz.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
There's certainly a plenty of players, and why not?
Yeah. You could have
not?
even like a massive potluck. like you could each make a dish, and then like you could have like this really long table, and like all the people that needed it could have some, and you could meet people. I'm thinking about doing that in Baltimore, like a massive potluck, right? Because we can each make a meal for somebody, or something, like cookies.
What a great idea.
Massive potluck. I mean, because hunger is a thing. Yeah.
We're gonna have a potluck in.
Yeah.
And like a be in or a sit in. Yeah.
Yeah. A potluck in. And then you have all these people you know, taking advantage of the pot of the luck, but that's cool too. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm on the case on that one. We will we will for sure get your links out on album 23 and February 18th. We wish you a most joyous of seasons.
Thank you.
Even though it's not, but keep that smile because that's infectious.
Thank you so much. Well, we each are the light, and so we bring that to wherever we go. Who's ever watching and participating, I believe it. You do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Baltimore afternoon.
Thank you.
And none of this stuff about the Ravens because it's going to be the 49ers this year.
Oh.
Sorry. Sorry.
Wait a minute. Let me get my shirt.
Yeah.
Very purple.
I'm going to plant a flag right now. So.
Whatever makes you happy.
You have a fantastic afternoon, and thanks so much for doing this.
You too. Me too. Lots of love.
We hope you enjoyed this installment of the Santa Cruz Coffee Break. For more music-related fun, please join the Santa Cruz Guitar Players Forum at SCGCPF or santacruzguitarplayers.com. If you have any questions or possible podcast topics, please contact us. If you have a product or service that you feel would be of value to our listeners, please consider adding your support and keeping the coffee pot on. Contact us for more information. We ask that you hit the like, follow, bell, or bookmark buttons so we can keep you informed of upcoming podcast episodes. We hope you enjoyed Santa Cruz Coffee Break. Now it's time to go play your guitar.